everybody. Today in this lecture, I'm going to solve the question Code Forces round 648 of Div 2, and the problem is solve the maze. In this question, we have been given a grid of n rows and m columns, and each of the cell is represented by either a dot, bound, G or B. A dot means that the cell is empty, a hash means that there's a wall, a G means that the cell represents a good person, and B means that it's a bad person. And in this question, our aim is to uh, get all the good persons out of the maze, and all the bad persons should remain in the maze. So we have to basically place obstacles around the maze so that this condition is met. And now there's also a condition mentioned that a cell that initially contains a G or a B cannot be blocked. So, and also that it can be traveled through. So, along with this, the last cell, the last cell n comma m is empty, and we can block this cell also. So, I'm going to explain it using the whiteboard. So, the first thing that we should understand is that if we want to block a bad person, then the best possible way is to do it this way. We place walls around in all the neighboring cells of this bad person. Why do you ask that? If you ask that why this is optimal, then we can understand using this example. Let's suppose we have b dot g, and suppose we place obstacles this way. In this scenario, we are blocking this cell, and this cell. Along with that, we are blocking so many more cells also. And if so, basically, this is the minimal configuration of blocking a bad person. So, every time we want to block a B, this is the way to go. Another thing, whenever we find a, a B adjacent to a G, then we'll always have our answer as no. The reason is that if suppose we want to meet the condition, we know that we want to meet the condition uh, that a good person has to be able to leave a maze. So let's suppose a path leads G to the exit, that is n comma m. In that case, if we also know that we cannot block this cell because it's a B or a G, so we cannot block this cell. So B will also have a path like this till the exit. Therefore, whenever you find a B adjacent to a G, then we can straight away go to no. Okay. After having done this, what we what we basically do is that we traverse the array first, we traverse the whole matrix, and surround the bad persons with, like the way I showed. After that, we just have to check if there exists a way from the exit to reach all the good persons. Suppose these are the good persons. So we just have to find a way, find if it is possible to visit all the good persons from the exit. That will also mean, that will also basically mean that we have a path from all the G's to the exit. So what we can do is we just apply a simple DFS in the newly created, in the new matrix that we have formed after placing all the neighbors of B with pound. And if we are able to uh, if we are able to visit all these G's, all the G's that are given in the original matrix, then we can say that yes, there is a way to place obstacles. So our answer will be yes. So let me show you the code. Okay. Okay. So this first function that is here, it basically validates, checks if uh, my coordinates that I am considering, whether they are valid or not. So it takes care if I'm going out of the matrix. Then x and y are two vectors which basically represent uh, the neighboring cells from any given cell. So if suppose I am at the cell 3 comma 4, then the neighboring cells will be 3 plus uh, 1 comma 4 plus 0, 3 plus 0 comma 4 plus 1, 3 minus 1 comma 4 plus 0, and 3 plus 0 comma 4 minus 1. Okay, so this is that. And this map is of pairs of integers, and it takes care of all the visited nodes in the matrix. And this C is a counter that counts the number of G's. So all the test cases are given over here. Suppose I am following all the test cases, and so initially what I do is I take the input, the number of rows and the number of columns, and a vector of string. And after that, so this initial double loop is for traversing the matrix and counting the number of G's in the initial matrix, and then we are going to place obstacles around the neighboring cells of B. So if anywhere we find that a neighboring cell is G, then we'll go to no directly. The no condition is this. And if you see an empty string or a pound symbol, we can just replace it with pound. And if it is bad, if the neighboring cell is bad, then we don't have to do anything, because that will eventually get stuck after we traverse that particular cell's neighboring cells. Okay, so this is basically a debug statement that you don't have to worry about. This particular statement is to check if the our exit itself has been blocked. Maybe like, suppose this is the scenario. So we are given a B over here, and this is the exit. So what we are going to do is we are going to place hash over here, we are going to place a pound symbol over here. So the exit itself has been blocked. So if it's not been blocked, then only we are going to traverse, otherwise it's of no use. So if there is a pound symbol, then we are not going to do anything, and if there is no pound symbol, we are going to do a DFS, depth first search. And so in this depth first search, I'm going to visit all the nodes that are neighboring to this, and we are going to calculate how many G's have come over here. So basically, the C variable in which I calculated the number of G's, I'm going to decrement it now and After finishing the DFS, I'm going to check if it's become 0. If it is not become 0, then I'll go directly to no, and I will print in the format that has been given, basically a no and an endl. After that, I'm going to just if this value of c is equal to 0, I'm going to print yes. So this was basically problem number D of Codeforces round 648. Thank you.